Hi, welcome back.
Oh, Tara's got her very NPR voice
No,
on today.
I was having this moment of like, I always feel like I have to start gently after the
Mm.
music because I'm not sure like how I'm like not modulating my own volume in my own head
Oh,
versus how the audio of the music
yeah.
sounds to them. So I'm like, gentle, Tara,
Oh,
gentle, and then you
no,
can come on
I'm
voice.
I'm the other side of that. I wanna come in like, "Whoa, hey, what's
Blazing.
up?" Yeah.
I want to hit the red on your meters. Oh, welcome to We're Making a Movie. I am Tara.
I'm Natalie.
And we are, in fact, making a movie. We're making our first feature film. We have been making movies together for, gosh, like 8 years solid. I would say that's the movie making time. Before that,
Yeah.
we were making crazy, wild, sketchy content and
Content.
stuff.
Mhm.
Content, and we are filmmakers now. I'm gonna say we are truly filmmakers. The other day, I was on the internet, promoting the show and stuff, and looking at other people's filmmaker content and stuff like that. And I was like, we are of this group, and it's really exciting.
Mhm, mhm.
So we're making our first feature film. It's called Turns Out. We are in the throes of development right now. We've been going on this trek. It's been a long 32, 34 episodes so far. Before we get rolling, I just want to do a little housekeeping here. If you want to support the show, you want to support not the show. I'm sorry. If you want to support the movie, if you want to help us make this movie with the monetary methods that are out there for us, we got live on YouTube. We've got Super Chat as an option to send us your Super Chat. We also have PayPal, a little link in the PayPal, and all the monies we're collecting together for those things, we're going to put into an account and put it straight to the movie. And we have a bank account now, which is really exciting. We have an official grown-up bank account. It's not our business account. It's not even our personal accounts. It's a bank account just for our movie, which I feel very grown up. Like that's
Mhm.
legit. How much more
There
legit can you get?
there were lawyers involved. There's a
Paperwork?
there's an official LLC
Yeah.
for the
4 people
company,
had to
you know?
sign
Yeah.
things. 4 of us had to
For
sign things. It's not just Natalie and I, it's a whole thing. I want to thank Desiree, who is a PayPaler previously. Thank you so much for your donation. Desiree's been a long time viewer of the show and has continues to support us. And I just every time we see you guys' names, maybe it may feel old hat to you. It's exciting to us. So thank you so much, Desiree, for
Me too.
joining us and putting your support in the form of dollar signs.
Mhm.
Oh, all right. We got a wrap up episode here today. That is what we're here for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been talking to some of our favorite cinematographers, directors of photography, whichever term you prefer. We also talked to some of our favorite directors to dig into like what a director of photography does, what a cinematographer does, when to bring them on board. Um, and we're gonna wrap that up and kind of like
Yeah.
gloss through what we learned, if we
Yeah.
learned anything. It's such a huge
It's a
topic.
huge topic.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna give you the too long didn't read version of everything and pull what we're pulling from it for ourselves for the future
Mhm.
because we did learn a ton. Like, and the interview episodes are always our favorite. If you didn't catch any of them, go watch the interview episodes. They're awesome. I will. They are out on the internet for you anywhere you find your podcasts.
Mhm.
All right. So, what did we learn?
Oh,
I
I don't know.
mean,
I mean, like, so part of this, because okay, it's because we're making a feature film, but we are not directing. We are doing some
right.
producing on it.
Mhm.
I'm trying to do as little producing on it as possible. Tara is producing. Uh, but because we're not the ones who are going to hire the director of photography, we are going to be part of that collaborative process. That's more of a director's job, but we
Right.
still want to understand a little bit more what a director of photography is supposed to do. We can just say DP, what a
Mhm.
DP is supposed to do on your set when you bring them on board,
Right.
what it is, the collaborative process, whose camp do things fall into when it's the DP versus the director. And of course, like with all of film, it is a little muddy, which is,
Yeah.
actually kind of funny because union film is the least muddy thing there is. Everyone
Mhm.
has a very specific job. and
That's
and
true.
it's kind of
Very true.
funny that these things do get muddy because different DPs do different things.
Yeah, and
Different
different working
yeah,
flows. Yeah.
different directors like to do are very hands-on in some places and not in other places. And
Well,
it
and
is one
historically
thing we learned.
speaking historically speaking, you and I have always been because it for the bulk of our existence as creators together, we've been the engine behind the thing. Like
Mhm,
we're the people pulling everyone together. We're making it up as we go. We've just been trying to figure it out, and we've had our hands very on every different category because there was no one else wearing that hat.
mhm, yeah,
And then we were the person always finding the DP because we were trying to pull together enough people to
mhm,
make the little short film, the sketch, the longer sketch, like the Maggie and Maud stuff. We were the ones selecting everybody. So this is the first time that you and I have really stopped to go, okay, wait, what is the usual way that these things get put together? What
mhm,
is where can we like take a step back and let somebody else have a collaborative opinion
mhm,
or make a choice? And with this one, especially because you and I cast ourselves, because we're the
mhm,
writer for it, because there's only one other role to cast. We were like, oh, we definitely should like lean back a little and let our director Mike have way more control in the decision of picking out the D
mhm,
because that's how this usually goes. And that we've discovered in this research that that relationship between the DP and the director is so important.
mhm.
So, you and I leaning back has been a very new experience for us. Like, it's been kind of nice actually. Like, okay, you've got the DP thing under control. We've got a whole bucket of ones we love, but we're
Mhm.
gonna we're gonna lean back on this one and let
Yeah, and I would even say that it's like, you're talking about the relationship. I think it's as important, and this we've come back to this exact thing before.
Mhm.
It's as important as picking your nanny,
Yeah,
like that relationship. So we've talked about films being babies, and I do think it's
yeah.
kind of the same thing. You are going to be in the trenches together. You have to have shorthand. You have to
Mhm.
be able to communicate and be on the same page about everything.
Yeah.
So it doesn't mean it has to be someone you've worked with before,
No.
which is great. If you've built that working relationship, that's fantastic.
Mhm.
But it does have to be someone that you can easily communicate with and that you understand visually and conceptually what you're trying to get across. And I think that's one of our first ones. Deep Wei Wang, who we was
Yeah.
our first DP interview, we've worked with a million times. Highly
Million times.
recommend watching that, listening to that interview. Um, Wei was talking about how, as a DP, he is working in service of the story, um, and I think everyone should be. I'd never
Yeah.
really heard it that way before, but I
Mhm.
think all departments, including actors, including producers, and it's all should be in service of the story. And I think the vision is the
Yeah.
other part there. So if often the vision is the director's their vision of the story. So whatever that is, your lighting department has to be on board, your costuming has to be on board,
Mhm.
but most importantly, I do think your director of photography needs to be on board. Yes,
Right.
it might be fun to do a Dutch angle here, but
But
what
does it serve?
does
Yeah.
that serve the
That's
story?
fun. My stepdad has a really great saying. My stepdad is a lighting and set designer. And one of his favorite things is if you're saying, "Wouldn't it be cool if," you better check and make sure it's of service of the play. He does
Mhm.
stage. So, like, for him, like, "Wouldn't it be cool if," you gotta, like, justify it with why is that good for the story? It can't just be cool to do a Dutch
Yeah.
angle. It's gotta also be in service of the story as well. And I will say, like, since that conversation with Wei, I have noticed myself when I watch things looking at even, like, the makeup, the
Mhm.
prop choices. I watched, Death by Lightning recently, and I was looking at the makeup done on one of the lead characters. It's like, "Oh my god, you are telling me so much about this character by not shaving his neck. Like,
Mm,
it's not just that, "Oh, this
yeah.
makes him look scraggly," or whatever. You're telling me, like, and the wardrobing too, like, just there was, like, a thread loose on one corner of a
Mm,
shoulder, and, like, everything else looked fine and period and great, but this one little thread was sticking out, and, like,
mm,
subconsciously, you're cueing me and serving the story by not shaving that man's neck and his costume looking or his wardrobe looking just a little bit worn on the
mm,
edges. I was like, "Oh, that conversation with Wei really did move some blocks in my head for, like for actively watching,
mhm.
other people's work for those kinds of things."
Yeah, I won't say the show that I just watched, because it'll ruffle too many feathers, but I did feel like while watching this most recent show that I watched, binged through the whole thing, there were a lot of things that I felt like didn't service the story when it came to the
Mm.
camera action. Like, I
Oh.
think that most of that entire show was just, "Wouldn't it be cool? Wouldn't it be funny? Wouldn't it be," like, "Okay, what is
Mm,
your main
mhm,
object?" It doesn't actually make sense necessarily what you're doing.
mhm. Yeah.
No. Mm,
Yeah, I mean,
mm,
I think, like, that is when interviewing you directors, when you're interviewing your DPs and, like, considering who to work with, who jives with you, like, looking for in those initial conversations, looking for, like, is he making choices that are serving my story? Not just,
mhm.
like, things I like, do we get along, but also, like, are the ideas he presenting are serving the story in the way that I see the story going?
Well, and I think one of those things would be to at whenever you're gonna make a choice, I think kind of if it's not just like, does this service a story? It's kind of like,
Mhm.
but why?
Right.
Why am I putting this on a dolly? And
Mhm.
and there could be a psychological reason why that this is feels so much smoother and it'll make everyone feel comfortable and you
Mhm.
get to show more of the world and all these other things like but there was something we did with Jason where I as th th and this is kind of one of those things where Tara and I overstep our bounds, like, all the time on our
Yeah.
own sets.
Yeah.
Um, there was a moment where we wanted to put people in the frame of the conversation on the couch, and I had to have a conversation. And I don't remember exactly what the push-pull was with.
Mhm.
I don't think that it was, like, me correcting Jason in way or anything like that. It was just a miscommunication, but the
Oh, okay.
and so it was actually that he wanted what we were talking about, but I misunderstood what he was saying, I think. And it was that he was like, "I'm gonna have people here and blah, blah, blah." I was like, "I want them to feel like they're in their own world." Like, I know
Mm,
we want
mhm.
people in the room, but I
Right.
want them to feel like they're in their own world. And so what Jason did was we started with this I think we started closer and moved out or punched in, whichever one it was.
Yeah.
And he had just people's backsides there
Right.
was no
Yeah, yeah.
on
No one's
screen.
face.
It
I
was
you
such a brilliant thing to do, like, you have people in the room, but no one's over
no one's
pulling
mhm.
focus in any way, shape, or form. It's just the hint of a shoulder and the hint of a butt and the hint like and these 2 are in their own world, and as
Yeah.
um, I
Yeah,
it
that shot definitely achieved that. Like, I can see that shot in my mind's
Mhm,
eye, and, like, in my mind's eye, there are, like, people closer to the frame, but, like, you can tell it's a leg, but it's not an important leg. Like, they
mhm,
definitely achieved that, like, little bubble for your 2
mhm.
characters to be in. That's fun.
And, in that same conversation, you get the same thing when it comes down to, like, we've gotten edits before where,
Mhm.
there's a joke that's been slipped in or whatever, and you're like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, that's funny," but
That's funny, but that doesn't why?
and it goes very back to, improv. When I was
Mhm.
doing improv, one of the things we always said was, "Don't sacrifice the scene for funny." So, like, you can stop a scene and this goes for stage, it goes for everything. You can stop a scene dead in its track and do something really funny, but you've now killed the momentum of the entire scene. And
Mhm.
yes, you got that one funny, but you killed the rest of the funny, and they're
Right.
all the potential for funny and all and anyway, so
Yeah.
that's, the long and short of, working in service of the story.
One of the other
Note number
things
1.
that, one of the other things that came out that I really loved and found really interesting was, uh, our our director, Patrick, Curran, with his DP, they wound up spending a lot of time watching movies together and discussing the
Mhm.
shots, and, like, because Patrick was a newer director, he was newer to stretching that muscle, and so he didn't have the visual lexicon to explain, like, "I want this," and how to get there, so they were watching movies together, and his DP was actually explaining to him, "Oh, okay, so what's going on and how this is working," and I just love that that time that you're spending pre-production, before anything is really happening, you and your DP, the director and the DP, are getting together and watching things together, and like really working on that visual language, that the shots that we like, the things that we enjoy, so that when you get to set, you have got this built-in conversation already started. And like,
Mhm.
you remember the shot, and this happened to me on set recently. I was on a project, and I was just the actor, and I could tell the DP and the director had a shorthand already. And like, yeah, there's the wrestler shot. Yeah, the wrestler shot. Let's do the wrestler shot. I was like, the
Mhm.
wrestler shot. And like, after I
You're like,
did the
"No one's
take,
wrestling."
I didn't understand what was happening after they did the take. I was like, oh, I've never seen the wrestler, but I was like, I can imagine the shot that this is based on the actions that I just did. And
Mm.
they had that lexicon together. And I, even as a writer, like you and I writing together, I was like, I love that. Like you and I kind of already will watch things once we get to a certain place in our writing to like reference, or like that's in the tone. But I love doing that even more now. Like in the lead
Mhm.
up to this project, I kind of want to do watching a lot more movies that are in theme. I want to find out what Mike's watching so that I can watch them too, and just kind of like watch the things that he's referencing in his director's deck and his tone deck, just so that I can be also on the same page with him from where maybe he's pulling from
Yeah.
for these things. I may not know, I may not be able to figure it out, but it's something in the meantime that I can be doing in support of my
Mhm.
director and my DP.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that's a really good idea as an actor, 'cause I
Mm,
was on set recently, and I afterwards so we filmed a scene, and we're not doing sequential, and when you're looking at just that page, later on looked at what the scene that comes before it and the scene that come after it. Like, after we'd already filmed this, I looked at the scene that come after it and before it, and I wasn't in either of those, and so they weren't fresh in my head the same way. I know my stuff, I don't know the chronological order of the play necessarily, or, like,
mhm.
and I went, "Oh, I should have held that longer, or I should have done this longer, because this transition will probably work better if I had just given them another 30 seconds of acting instead of." And, you're never supposed to cut yourself. I do understand
Right.
that, but sometimes you
Yeah.
run out of things to do.
Yeah, you just run out of ideas and you're like, I'm just stuck
And,
here doing
I
this.
c I can shake the dead body one more time.
All my juice is out. What do you guys want from me? Yeah.
Yeah, and so I just like, "Oh, okay." If I would have thought about that, um, and so, like, you if you know what the director is trying to do better, and that's partly my communication problem. I thought later on, I was like, "I should actually have asked more as an actor, like, what is your transition here gonna look like? What do you think's coming out of this scene?"
Mhm.
Which, when you have a lot more time, you can do that kinda stuff.
Right.
But, like, the more you know what the director is trying to convey, or
Yes.
and I've done it before. I'm like, I've asked, when I did Obit, I asked, I asked Ben, I said, "What do you want the audience to think about her when we get done with this scene?" Like,
Mhm.
it was the opening
Yeah.
scene. I'm like, "What do you want the audience to take away from this?" And now I don't know if actors are supposed to ask those kind of questions, but it works for me because I am
I
not a
honestly,
method or,
yeah, I don't see a problem with
Mhm.
questions like that with your, I
Mhm.
mean, like, I hope that you have a dynamic with your director that you can ask those questions so that we're all working to the same purpose and design. Like, don't I prefer you not to try and trick me into my emotions. Like, just tell me where we're going.
Yeah.
And I'll
What is
get
it
us there if you can tell me what the
that you
roadmap
need?
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do
And
you yeah.
And that's like, if you've watched, if it would help even more if you've watched that scene and you know what kind of tone they're trying to get. I can give you a different delivery. I know, and
100%.
if I
Yeah.
know the way you want to edit, and I know the way you want to cut this, I know to leave a little bit of tail. I know
Mhm.
to, like, the camera has to stay very still at the very end so that I can cut to the next like, so all those little communications,
Yeah.
watching the same things and being on the same page. I think that's part of that,
Right.
like, and and yes, as someone who doesn't know cinematography, I do not understand the psychological side of it. Being able to watch it with a cinematographer and go, "Why do I feel angry while I'm watching this scene?" And they're like, "Oh, you wanna know why? Because there's a red light and a purple light that have been alternating," and, and you're like, "Wait, what?"
Make you
Like,
mad.
there's a
Yeah.
lot of psychological things that they can do that are magic. Uh, "Did you know this notice the slow punch in?" And I was like, "No, I didn't." And you're like, "Yeah, they've made you uneasy because we have
Uh-huh.
slowly moved, like, minuscule amounts of movement." And you're like, mother effer. Like,
I know,
I just
I get
you're
mad too.
tricking
I'm
me.
like, "How dare you?"
You know, more so than the way music tricks you. Like, it's
Uh-huh.
we all know music will trick you. If you
We're all ready for
mute
that.
something and it's a sad thing and you mute it, you're less likely to cry. You watch
Right.
that same dog video with the music on, and there's tears, you know?
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I always get mad about when you're tricking
cinematography.
me into crying is when I get mad, like, "Don't trick me into cry. I don't like being
Uh-uh.
vulnerable like that. Knock it off."
Mm-mm.
What you're saying about communication, though, I think actually leads into the next great point is, like, I didn't really factor in or think that the DP really does need to be in early communication with all of your departments
Yeah.
because, like, well, you brought the great example in the previous episode about a couch color. Like, yeah, like
Mhm.
if you're planning on, if this is the set and that's the wall and that's the couch and then the wardrobe, this is the dress, like everybody needs to be talking to each other. And kind of the lead person of that visual conversation are the director and the DP. And so I think the DP, it's not just like, hey, let's set the camera up and point it this way and angle it in a weird way. It's also like communicating with everybody else, like, we're going to be doing this shot. Like, so just know that, this is we aren't going to see that, but we're going to see this. This is important. That's going to be in the
Mhm.
foreground. So let's make sure that looks good. And those windows up there that are frosted don't matter. Like, that
Mhm.
communication, I think, is
That
so
was
important.
That would
Go
be
ahead.
fun. That was a Brandon Cox story, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yes, Brandon
Those
Cox.
that
Yeah.
yeah, that episode, he's got some really interesting examples
Great
of
episode.
things like that. Yeah, it's a great episode. Uh, and this what made me think of, which is not quite on topic, but I think it falls into the same thing. Remember we were talking about motif and like
Hmm.
if you're going to be doing the Americana thing, like so back to when we were talking about motif, we talked about Silence of the Lambs and the Americana theme that was running through it, and set deck had Americana, and
Hmm.
costuming had Americana. And so having those conversations with all departments, that's the kind of thing that
Yeah.
this is important. This part, it's not just so like if everyone's on the same page that the motif is this thing or the vibe we're trying to get
Hmm.
or the whatever it is, and the American flags now are a prominent, they need to be, I don't want like, oh, there's an American flag. Like, no, I
Right.
want it
No,
to be
it's
seen.
there.
I
Yeah.
want I want and I'm going to have that on the background in this one, and it's going to be focused on at some point in time.
Mhm.
Like, so the just things like that. The X's in Departed we were talking about. Like
Oh,
there's
right.
in
Mhm.
Departed, yeah, there's X's over all of, I'm going back to a way early episode.
Way a long time ago,
Um
but it's okay.
yeah, but that kind of thing, so that needs to be worked through all of your departments. And that's not necessarily the X's and the motif stuff is not necessarily coming from your DP,
Right.
but like it's just an example, a very easy visual example of, I want,
Right.
if the DP's idea with all of these shots are I want people to feel uncomfortable, this scene should feel uncomfortable. It's always the one that I go to. There are a lot of things like shirts not fitting right, like that I
Mhm.
can do over in costuming that I wouldn't necessarily know that that's your idea in that one. I just know it has to be a green shirt.
Oh,
That's the only thing
right,
that's
yeah.
mentioned in the whole
That's a
thing,
really good point,
you know?
yeah. Yeah,
You know,
communicating with the wardrobe, like, "Hey, this is the emotion I'm trying to get out of here. Is there anything in
mhm.
your world that you wanna do to help move that needle?" And like, "Oh, yeah, I can make the shirt really tight, and that'll, like, really help everyone feel claustrophobic." Whatever, like, that's a great idea, I love
Well,
that.
I think a lot of times on bigger sets, this is the way it works. Like everyone understands that these kind of communications happen. There's department
Mhm.
heads, and they give you mood boards, and those department
Right.
heads have all had meetings, or whatever. I think where this gets lost is on lower budget sets
Mhm.
because I mean I've been on sets where I'm a costumer. I've been given the script. And I didn't work on the first season of this show. And so
Mm.
I didn't understand their shorthand. Now, I also had, when I got pulled on, I went back and watched more of it, but I hadn't watched a lot of it when I had gotten pulled onto it. Um, and there was this thing at the end, it says they're showing pictures of these, they're showing pictures of the wedding, they're showing pictures of the blah, blah, blah. And I was like, do I need, 50 formal gowns for a wedding? Like, and they were drawn pictures, but I did not get that from the script. But it was shorthand between
Oh.
all of them because that's just what pictures means to them. And so this was in a department head meeting. And I went, so how many tuxes do we need? They're like, oh no, that's a
Right.
drawing. And I'm like, okay,
Oh,
thank God. Anyway,
yeah, yeah.
so I think like in smaller budget things, those things can get
Mhm.
lost
Yeah.
easier because it's not you forego those meetings because you don't have time to pay people to have
Right.
meetings, and you
Right,
like
yeah,
you skip a lot of
absolutely,
those
yeah.
things. But They are very important, and I think for the success of your film, you should
Mhm.
make sure you do those on your small budget films, small budget
Right, yeah.
short films even.
Oh, yeah, well, I think this also, like, when picking the people that you're picking, like, if you're finding the people that are not only just like, "Hey, this is the guy who's top of his field, da da he's the best," like, I bet he's amazing, but he may not be as, like he may not have the time to be as involved in those kinds of things, and it may not
Mhm.
mean as much to him as a guy who's like, "Hey, this is gonna be I've been a camera op, and now this is gonna be my first time to get to DP. I'm really excited." And he's gonna wanna take that time to have those conversations
Mhm.
because it's fun for him. He finally gets to do that conversation. And this piece of work for him is important to his resume. So he wants it to look and come out its very, very best so that he can use it to catapult himself into the next DP job. So like
Mhm.
when you're picking somebody, like you and I love to pick people that we're gonna elevate from where they are now into the next job that they're what I constantly ask people, "What's your goal? Like, what is your
Mhm.
goal job? What are you going for?" Like, if I can help you get there and we have a symbiotic relationship where it helps me because now I've got a set deck who's amazing and I'm very invested, I'm into that. That's what I'm
Mhm.
looking for.
Yeah, and
Um,
I think in those situations, it's always great if you can move someone up a peg.
oh, yeah,
I
if you
would
can do it, yeah.
definitely make sure they're ready for it.
Yeah,
Like,
that would be the
don't
caveat.
so you can go find someone who's willing to DP for free, like,
Oh, yeah.
always, but I would say that they better have a lot of first AC experience,
Yes. Yeah.
like, so it's
Yeah,
it
vet
is
'em.
it is, you're hiring someone to be your manager, but you're gonna move them up, you wanna promote from within, but
Mhm.
they don't just don't just take the new kid,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, no, 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 you gotta vet and take a look at all the things, because it's a double-edged sword.
But Tara is
Yeah.
right on in that when you level someone up, they are so invested in the project.
Yeah,
You get the freebie that you get there is that this is they're gonna be a champion for it. They're gonna put the I
exactly.
mean, if you vetted them, there's still people out
If you
there that are
vetted them.
lazy POSs, but yeah, but you can get people who are going to show up at your premieres and want to see it on the big screen. If
Exactly,
you
yeah.
hire someone who's big, while they'll do phenomenal job, they are going to do not always, but you might get a bare minimum phenomenal job
Mhm.
they they
They don't
don't
have time.
care about
Right.
your project's just
Oh,
a
yeah, yeah.
yeah, that's the
Yeah,
bottom of what they've ever done.
I've had a several or not several, I've had a few DPs that were amazing and awesome, and I adore them, and they did a great job, but also their bandwidth was so thin, they only could manage so many because they had to take that high-paying commercial job in the mix of all this because
Mhm,
they got a mortgage and bills to pay and other parameters, so, like, they weren't able to give as much to the project as they could have
mhm,
if they were scrappy and younger and this was helping build the resume. They still did a great job. They're so
mhm.
wonderful, but it was a different experience, you know?
Yep.
Very, very different. One of the other things that I really took away from our conversation that directly, I think affects turns out is that we don't have to shoot a specific type. So like you just because we're making a comedy technically doesn't mean it has to look like a comedy. Doesn't mean
Mhm.
it has to be bright colors, doesn't mean it has to be like on sticks, doesn't mean like we have the
Oversaturated, like, no
exactly.
mhm,
Yeah,
yeah,
and, like, coming from a comedy background, like, so often that's, like, the easy answer, like, "Oh, it's a comedy, just make it bright and funny." Like, well, no, what you and I've written is a comedy, but it's also set in the apocalypse. So
mhm,
we get to have a little more I didn't even really think about it until Brandon Cox was talking about that with The Hangover. I was like, "Oh, you're right. That movie isn't very comedically shot. It is
mhm,
more serious." I'm like, we have that flexibility, especially because we have a sequence in there that's a horror sequence,
mhm.
essentially. Like we have the freedom to shoot this a little more broadly, which is really kind of fun. And like just hearing somebody else saying, "Yeah, you don't have to do that." Like, right. You're right. I don't have
Yeah,
to do that.
Terry and I like to write kind of, when we write anything, it's almost always comedy, but it always has, like, a little bend to it. It's not just
Mhm.
straight comedy. Well, not, never, but mostly. So there's often, we call it actually, I don't remember what we call it. There's, like, always, like, a bait and switch in the beginning.
Bait and
There's, like
switch. I always call it bait
yeah.
and switch. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. We've got, like, "This is the genre you're watching. Oh, no, it's a comedy."
Yep.
Like
You thought it was a tragedy.
"Oh, no, this is
Nope.
scary. Oh, no,
We're
it's
gonna
not."
make this
Um
plane crash funny.
which I kinda wanna do the opposite, Tara, with Intense. I wanna go
Oh,
start with it's a flat comedy and
yeah.
then slowly devolve into it's not, you know?
Yeah, I like that
Um
idea.
but so with those things, you are like that takes a good DP to understand how to make those shifts. And I kind of like, I
Mhm.
want to lean into it more. I love it. I love the not
Yeah.
doing. I want, I want a little bit more gritty. And
Yeah.
then things are funnier to me
Mhm.
because like, because now you're watching this gritty moment, but you're
But we're
behaving
fighting
like
about
you're,
silly things,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. I think that there's a
Yeah.
lot of room in this script to do that kind of fun
Well,
stuff.
it's kinda like the we're already writing our next feature, we're working on the
Mhm.
outline right now, like, we have this, like, really dire, bloody, scary situation, and our 2 lead characters are fighting about, inner relationship issues, and
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
putting those 2 things together, and so
Mhm.
I remember we shot a short film called Panic Button where it's, 2 women lost in the woods, and we had to shoot the whole thing twice because it snowed, and we did have that moment of like, "Oh, we're going to reshoot this because this is too dire."
Yeah,
Like,
it
that's
was like
too much.
it was scary when we got out there, we're like, "Oh, now it was a funny Lost in the Woods thing, and now it's like, no, these girls might die."
Yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
stakes got too high.
The suit that's way no, okay, we wanted to make it grittier, but not that gritty. Like,
Mhm.
the joke was with it, we were intentionally shooting it like The Revenant, and then it got too Revenant, like, the bear was actually there. Like, we had to
Ye
dial it back.
You know what? So I realized there's a shot in the top and this is on topic, actually, I'm staying on topic, kinda. There's a shot at the top of, um, Panic Button that I've always disliked. It's the
Mhm.
coming down from the trees and
I knew
Jason's
exactly
like
what shot you were gonna
yeah, I've
say. Yeah,
always
yeah.
disliked it, and I realize and I've always gone, "It just looks like a sitcom." You know,
Mhm.
like, that moment looks like a sitcom. No offense to Drew, that was not
No,
or the editing or the whatever, it's just
no.
it was I think, if I understood what I disliked about it before, we probably could have, in post, just changed tweaked the lighting on it. Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think if
But
we would have color graded it a little bit different, it wouldn't bother me the same way.
we changed
But
the
it
whole thing, yeah.
is yeah, it is specifically because that one shot looks too sitcom to me, and it is because it's
Mhm.
flat lighting. I mean, now we were using all
Oh,
natural light.
yeah.
Not
Yeah.
it's not like we lit that tree. It just
No.
happens to be that that one is just flat lighting, and there's no shadows, there's no whereas everything else had this, like, contrast to it, and this one does not have that same contrast to it, and I think if I had understood this a little bit more, I would have been able to give that note at the time, and it wouldn't bother me, but now it bothered me.
Yeah. Oh, well, we're learning, and that's why you make short films first, is that you get to,
Mhm.
like, try all these things out and learn all this stuff on films that cost a little less money. I mean, not that
Mhm.
shorts can get really expensive really quickly, but, you can take the price tag down a little bit and learn, like, "Oh, we did had all these drone shots before that, these stark, scary drone shots. It's this tome of a song, and then
Mhm.
this one shot that doesn't quite fit, and it's probably because of the lighting." Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it didn't transition well enough, like, it just went from dark, 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 or heavy, heavy
Yeah.
to bright, and then
Yeah.
we were in this and I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah,
Um,
years later, now we understand.
yeah, uh, but that's something that your DP and now it's not always something you can do, and sometimes it is done in post or whatever, but this is where the conversation with the DP, they understand how to make like, what lenses are needed for these things. I will never understand the difference between lenses. I don't even know if I wanted to, if I could learn it, like,
Yeah.
what this lens does. I mean, I heard people talking about lenses and them having, like, a yellow tone to them, and I'm like, "Wait, what?" Like, different cameras. Like, people
Uh-huh.
like the Ari Alexa because it does this, and people like the red because it does this, and people like the whatever, and I'm like, "What?" Like, I'm suppose if you showed me them side by side, I could understand that, but
Yeah.
I don't see it. I don't,
I
you know.
I only understand it I'm like, my brain is starting to capture the information. I've had it explained to me so many times, and I'm like, "Oh, yeah, yeah." It's like explaining football to me. Like, I'll get
Mhm.
it for a little bit, for, like, a season, and then I'll immediately forget
Yeah, yeah.
everything I just learned. But I have really begun to understand, and this is very narcissistic, as far as how I look on different lenses and different
Mhm.
cameras, and, like, I'm like, "Oh, this this camera, I don't look good on." Now sometimes that's good, that's what we want. We want me to look haggard or whatever, but I look real good on this camera, like, I'm like, "I like this camera because I look prettier in this camera than that camera," but It's not always what you want, but that
But
is
is it
how I've
the
begun
camera
to
or is it
understand.
the lens?
Oh, that's the
Like
thing. The lens, I've begun to ask over and over again now, "What camera are we shooting on? What lens are we on right now?"
I feel
Just so
like
I can understand.
yeah, I feel like it's like trying to figure out what you're allergic to, and you
Uh-huh.
have to, like, write down your food
Yeah.
each day, and you're like, "Okay, so this was on a ARRI, and it was on a this kinda lens, and it was at this whatever."
Yeah. I should start writing
I
it
don't
down.
like any of that, and then
Right.
later on, you're on an ARRI, and it's this other kinda lens, it's this other millimeter, and you're like,
Mhm.
"Oh, wait, but I like it now." So it wasn't the ARRI, I can check the ARRI off,
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
the
yeah.
problem.
When I
I
could
have
just, like,
no
mark it in my
idea.
brain and go, "Oh, we're on an Ari." I need to hold my face a certain way because last time I had some serious jowl action going on
I
because,
don't
like,
know.
it's picking up different things. It's like
Mhm.
my evil iPhone camera. I will not use that to take photos of myself because the lenses in that hate human faces, and that it ages you, like, 20 years and adds spots to your face that don't exist. It
Mhm.
happens. In my notebook of lenses and cameras, hate iPhone, top of the list.
Top of the list.
Top of the list. Uh, um, so we're not gonna be as involved in the picking the DP process,
Mhm.
because we are gonna, like, lean back and quit being such control freaks and let our director make the choice. It sounds like it's going very well. I'm excited, like,
Yeah,
they're telling us
yeah.
information. I'm loving what I'm hearing, like, I'm loving
Mike
the
and Austin
conversations.
were relaying, "We talked to this guy, and he does this, and he has a truck,
Yeah,
and he blah, blah, blah," and Allison's got a first pick, and Mike's got and he's doing more interviews this week, and they've read the script now, and first there was he had an initial interview process to get to know him, and
yeah.
then the ones that he wanted, he sent them scripts, and now come back with like, "Okay, now that you've read the script,
Now they're
what do you
gonna have
think?"
those,
Blah, blah.
yeah.
It's very exciting. I
Yeah, it
am
sounds like they're gonna have those, like, "Okay, what are your thoughts and feeling conversations? How are
Mhm,
you seeing it? Do do you and I have an immediate, like, ebb and flow that really works? Like, are we speaking the same languages? Do we like the same all that kinda stuff." Sounds like that's
mhm,
kinda what's going on right now in the selection process. I will say is, like, if you're a DP out there watching or listening to this podcast, one of the pieces of advice that I heard that I loved was coming to that interview that now Mike is doing with the DPs, where they've read the script and now they're going to meet up and talk about it. Coming to that prepared with coming as prepared as possible and coming prepared with ideas. And like one of the like the standout ways of like doing that is looking for those like not red flag as in bad, but parts of the story where things need to be special. Like,
mhm.
hey, there's this moment in the story where I think a crane really helps sell this moment. Like
Mhm.
coming prepared with those moments marked in your script and seeing if you are aligning with the director and like, yes, I also feel that that moment needs something. What do you think we should be doing?
Mhm.
So I'm excited to hear what the
Yeah.
boys come up with.
I mean, I think yeah, I mean, I don't know. Last night it was kind of funny. We had a little moment, where Mike started to talk about, some options to do things here and there, and I was just like, "Wait." Well, I was fascinated, like, I was
I
hearing the
can't wait.
story for the first time. Like, I'm
Yeah.
like, "Ooh, what are you gonna do with the bunker?"
Oh,
Like
I'm so excited. Well, it feels like the moment that he really selects this DP is when we put a new layer onto the story and we're gonna see this story that you and I have been working on for
Mhm.
7, 6 years through a new lens. Forgive the
Mhm.
pun. I didn't mean to do that. That was not intentional. But, like, we're gonna look at it through a new way because now they're like, "Okay, so the moment when you guys do this, we're gonna shoot it this way." And that's so exciting to hear, like, "Oh, I can see it. I can see the story in a new way." Because so far in
Mhm.
my brain, it's all mostly been on sticks. Because that's just
Yeah.
we've just been writing it, yeah?
I mean, there are, like, little pieces in there where we've written in a
Yeah.
thing that's, like, specific, like a whip pan or something that
Right,
needs
right.
a slow zoom in, whatever, which is actually not the right word. But but it is I would be so interested to, like, pick the brain of, like, how does your brain interpret a script? Are you like? Because I interpret a script mostly through the dialogue, the
Right.
acting, and that's because that's the direction I come from. Um, but I wonder how Mike's brain works while he's going through a script. Like, how I mean, maybe when we get into breaking down the script, we can maybe dive into this a little bit too,
Mhm.
like,
Oh, yeah.
or just sidebar it one day and, like, this is a off-topic episode, but, like, when you're reading a script, like, what is your brain doing? Are
What
you
are you
visualizing it much
Yeah.
different than then it has to be different than the way I visualize it.
Right.
Like there's tones, there's hues, there's, I don't know.
Well, it's like
Mine's not a play.
that conversation that's going around the internet where it's like, "Wait, you don't have an internal dialogue going on in your head the
Hmm.
entire time of your day telling you stories and tagging and having conversations with people that
Yeah.
aren't there? Wait, you're not doing that?" Like, it's we do read things in very different ways as creative. We do see it through very different viewpoints and lens, and, like, the story builds in different ways in everyone's brain. So I can only imagine. I'm so curious to find out, like, when you read this, Mike, what's happening in the visual mind's eye for you,
Yeah.
if anything?
Yeah.
Because not everyone gets pictures in their brains. Like,
I
I
would have
get
to assume that they
pictures.
do though. Like if you're a
Yeah,
DP or that
I would think.
you're a
Yeah,
visual
I
person.
get
Yeah.
pictures in my brains. Yeah, like,
Mm.
when you talk about a flower, I immediately see a flower in my head, not the word flower,
Right.
which is why I can't spell flower to save my
Oh, I
life.
see I see flour for, like, baking. Just kidding.
I mean,
It's
yeah,
just a
that
sack.
is the lens that you see. It's just a sack, and all of a sudden, I'm taking care of it. Now I'm in grade school well, not grade school, high school, taking care of a flower sack and trying not to kill it. Anyways,
Uh,
sidebar. Yeah, so it's very I'm so excited for the selection process to
Mhm.
be concluded and to start having conversations with the DP, and then to run around behind them and watch the movies that they're watching and, like, just soak in all of the stuff
Mhm.
that they're doing, as also, what I can be doing in the meantime aside from learning my lines and finding money because
I would say
these are the things.
I will say as an actor though, it might be worth, yes, you can follow and watch movies, you can watch whatever you want to, but,
Yeah.
like, know why they're watching that because it might not
Yeah.
have anything to do with acting, it might have to do with color,
Oh,
like,
yeah,
it might have
exactly.
to do they
Yeah.
might not want that tone, they're not trying to
Mhm.
affect that tone, they just want that camera movement. So, like,
Right.
having those conversations about what it is about this
What is it
thing that
about
I like,
this? Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, 'cause I'll
Mhm.
I'll I'll definitely wanna know, like, and how can I be of service of what you guys are trying to achieve. Oh, okay,
Mhm.
I see the blue. Alright,
Yeah.
what does that mean to me, as an actor, as a writer, as a whatever?
Yeah.
So yeah, uh, I'm excited about moving into the next phases of our filmmaking process on this, which we actually excitingly
Mhm.
fantastic news. We've said it, but we've posted about this on the internet and other places, but we haven't explicitly said this on the podcast. We are officially out of development and
Mhm.
into pre-production. We have got enough finances put together now that we feel confident that we can get through production with the monies that we have. We're still looking for more monies because we do need we it would be advantageous to have a bigger budget, but we're at the point now we've had a new investor join us, which is
Mhm.
incredible. They signed the paperwork. We're all done. We met with them last night and had some celebratory Zoom drinks.
Mhm.
And we're moving forward. We got to put some dates on the calendar. We're looking at late February,
Have
which
you done the
is
math yet?
it's 100 okay, so here's the thing. This is a whole side conversation. Okay, there's a lot actually. Natalie and I had a meeting yesterday, and we were talking about marketing. Natalie went to this amazing workshop about social media. Very important we know that marketing is so important for your movie, and the marketing has to start early because we don't have the $100,000 to put toward our marketing budget. So what can we be doing? So we've been talking about these things. I'm going somewhere with this, I swear. One of the things we talked about was on TikTok. We have a TikTok account that's just kind of hanging out, not really doing much. We talked about potentially me getting on there and doing an everyday post of like, okay, I got 108 days to filming. Here's what I'm doing today to make my movie. Checking in every day. And I did the date to March 1st. So, like, that's more days. I'm, like, splitting that's more days than I actually would have potentially, but if we got pushed, then it's not a lie. Does that make sense? So I did
Yeah, I think you should do to the date that we were
we have on
planning
the
on
calendar.
filming, and then
Yeah.
it just happens. It's not still not a lie, it's just what
No,
happens.
it gets
Like,
pushed.
it's like we're in
Today I have, 74 days left, but we just pushed the dates, so that adds 14 days to my calendar. So
right,
now
exactly.
the
So I'm
next do
back
that
at
too.
yeah, I think that's more honest than
Yeah.
lying about what you think the start date is, but
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah,
I am inching closer and closer to actually doing that because
deciding to do it.
it does sound kind of fun So
Yeah.
even if I don't do it every day, if I do it like every other or every third day, like,
Mhm.
okay, now we're at whatever, and have like a countdown somewhere, like a visual countdown in my home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Have
that's
one of
real.
those boards that's like since an incident, like the since an accident where just till till turns out. Uh,
Yeah, that's a very real
so wait,
possibility. So
how
yeah.
many days?
So if it was March 1st, it's 108. So take
Okay.
off 2 weeks, take off 14.
Yeah.
So that
Okay.
would be roughly, and I'll do this math again,
80s. Wait, did you say
minus
104?
14
Is it
is 94 days.
94 days?
94. I don't like that number.
Right? I
That's a
ca
horrible
I
number.
vaguely had said like 76 or
Yeah,
whatever when
yeah.
we were just I was like, and then it was that it's too close. Guys, we're making a movie in 94 days, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly. Oh my goodness. Yeah, okay. I am like 80% there on doing this idea to help us
Mhm.
market whatever. Because I do think filmmakers would tune in to that and be like, I wanna see the
Oh,
meltdown
yeah.
Tara's having today, because I
Exactly.
will put the meltdowns out there.
Uh-huh, and it's like, "Oh, sure you're 94 days." Like,
Yeah.
nothing ever starts when it's supposed to start, and
No.
nothing ever
It's
ends when
like
it's supposed to end.
construction. It never
Yes.
starts on time.
Yes.
Like, I fully know that this is
Or
not.
when your baby's due. I'm just gonna keep going back to babies. Our baby is due.
Our baby is due in 94 days.
You don't get
It's
to
very
decide that.
it's getting very heavy
Yeah.
inside my person, inside of my soul.
But this is how it works. Like, it
Yeah,
does, it once it starts, it is a quick I mean, that sounds like far away for many, many, many things.
yeah,
Like, if it was a move, I wouldn't even start thinking about it yet.
mhm. Yeah,
I'm not
well,
really even looking at apartments yet if I'm moving in 94 days.
I mean, I might, but
Yeah.
I'm a crazy person. I
Yeah, I
might
mean,
start.
I'm looking, but you can't
Yeah,
sign any leases or anything, you're like
I'm writing a to-do list down. I'm making a
exactly.
plan. I'm putting things on, like, we should be
Mhm.
doing this by this ti I'm a crazy person.
No, but this is we need to be making actionable to-do
Yeah,
lists
we
and
do.
doing that.
We do, we do.
Uh,
Oh
I
goodness, but
I'm gonna go a little tiny bit off topic here.
okay.
Because you I haven't told you this yet.
Oh, no.
I know. I had one of those, and this anyone been listening to more of these podcasts understand where this issue lies immediately. We were talking about set deck, and I was
Mhm.
like, "Oh," so, having a person on the ground and having a blah, blah. I'm like, "Well, maybe I can go in a week early and I can do the set deck." And then I went, "Natalie, what the F is wrong with you? You
No.
cannot do that."
No.
While I would want to,
Yeah.
I want to so bad, and I'm trying to figure out how to make it happen. I also is a very bad idea.
Yeah. No, it's a terrible idea. Here's the thing is, like, you and I have gotten so used to doing everything ourselves because that's just the nature of the thing. It is fun for us to do these things. We love figuring out the set
Mhm,
deck and the things and the
mhm.
pieces and the parts, because we genuinely love making movies and making projects and making content. However, you and I have to and I will also sidebar and side caveat this with, we're a bit control freaks. Like, you and I, it's not control
Yeah.
freaks, it's just that you and I have lived long enough life waiting on other people. We
Mhm.
know that you can wait or you can just do it. Like,
Yeah. You
and
get
that
used
and
to doing it yourself, and it's
you
hard to,
do.
like, let someone else do it now.
And that's true of, like, in our bartending careers, that's true of in, like, our other projects that we've done. It's not just filmmaking,
Mhm.
it's like, you and I are go get it kind of people, and
Yep.
we won't wait on other people to go get it. So, you and I have a really hard time sitting and waiting. Like, the waiting part of this industry, not our cup of tea.
Mm-mm.
And you and I have to actively work to not add more hats to our hat rack because we don't need them. We gotta not do that.
But but
But
but
but I would I
I mean,
could
we haven't determined that I'm not doing costuming yet.
you were right, we have not determined.
I'm probably
Wait,
doing our costuming.
I'm gonna go look at that new budget that Alice put together and go look for the line item that says wardrobe.
Yeah, I'm probably doing it.
I mean, the good news
It's an
is
easy one.
it's simple.
It's very easy.
Yeah, and then the only issue I have is the person with the eyes on us.
Uh-huh.
Well,
The no,
that's my
the
only other
big
issue.
issue because we're not gonna be filming in order, and are we like, we haven't had discussions on, are we staying in the same costume for like, I don't think we are.
Oh, right.
Once we get into the
Yeah.
house, obviously costumes should change. They don't have to, it's a comedy, it's okay.
Right.
But then there's continuity. And so, I mean,
That's
obviously, you can't be doing it on the day. However
right. It was the same. We had a makeup discussion and producing discussion, and I think wardrobe fits into this. Like, there's somebody on the day whose brain you get to take your brain and put your brain in their brain for that stuff so that you get to just be an actor in service of the movie.
I will say that did not work out on social anxiety.
I know that, but that was a really hard one. That one was really hard. It did not work out on social anxiety, but that was a really hard one.
I mean, we had someone who was very helpful,
Very.
but it did not end up being that Natalie's brain got to not do that
I
part.
know, I know.
Yeah.
You gotta make yourself. It's
I
hard,
would
it's
I
hard,
that was not gonna happen.
it's hard. Like, I
Yeah.
had the same issues when we were doing May I Put You on Hold, like, I kept trying to fix problems, and they're like,
Mhm.
"Stop doing
Yeah.
producing work," and I'm like,
Mhm.
but
Well,
we have a problem."
it's not yeah, it's not just that it's hard to make yourself stop it, it's
Mhm.
also slower. Like,
Yeah.
if I just
Uh-huh.
jump in there and do it, it's faster. Now
Yeah.
I have taken my brain away from this part of the job and blah, blah, blah,
Right.
like anyway, guys, that's a
Yeah.
we'll
Okay.
get to that later.
Well, that's a whole other conversation. That's a probably a next week conversation. So for turns out we do have some fun and exciting news for you guys. We have gone to so many festivals with the script, and that portion of this new experience of taking our script to screenplay competitions and film festivals is going really, really well. We're kind of
Mhm.
hoping at some point that we may be able to do like at least a large chunk of an episode talking about that because I've had a lot of people asking me one on one about my opinion and my experience for script competitions.
Mhm.
Uh, pat on the back to us. We're winning things. We're placing. We're getting second place. We're getting
Mhm.
cash prizes. Like
Right?
I, I'm like, are you sure you meant ours? Like it just. I stand by our script. I know our
Mhm.
script is good. I just don't everyone else has to be amazing as well. Like it's just amazing to stand out amongst other people
Mhm.
who are also doing great and who whose first moniker is screenwriter. So that's
Right.
really, really exciting.
Mhm.
Like we just said, we have a new investor involved. Thank you so much to them because that investment coming in and I meant to say this more succinctly last night when we were hanging out with them. That investment from them is really the pusher, the catalyst that pushed us over the edge that we are now able to say that we are greenlit.
Mhm.
And it just takes that one person believing in you. Well, it's actually technically two people. Those people believing in you and putting their belief into a monetary form that like they were a huge catalyst for propelling us forward in a pretty big way. Because now being able to
Mhm.
say that we're greenlit to do this, like the amount of people
Mhm.
coming out of the woodwork to congratulate, offer help, all that stuff has been a lot. Like
Yeah.
no $100,000 check yet, but like that piece of news is really, really exciting.
Mhm.
Like we said in the top of this sucker, we got a bank account, we got a lawyer,
Mhm.
we got an LLC. I love our
I was
LLC
gonna say,
name.
as
It's so
Shannon West
fun.
can attest because she's been sent paperwork, so thank you
Yeah.
for that donation
I
as well.
mean,
Donation investment, there we go. Yeah,
Shannon was one of our very first
it's
big
our
ones,
first
and
no,
that like
the first.
the first. Oh, yeah, you're
Mhm,
right, the first. She was the first, and that was like, you and I were jumping up and down when that moment happened, like, we're like, "This is" for us, like, it's real because
it's
you
real, yeah.
believed in us in this way, it's real, and we cannot ever thank these people enough for believing in our work this way and supporting it in this way because it does make such a big difference, even if it doesn't seem like it, it does. It's
Mhm.
we're all moving forward. So, and yeah, and like we said, we got to pencil in the dates for production on the calendar. They will move. This is life.
Mhm,
We know
which is
this.
why we put it in pencil and not permanent
Why it's in
marker.
pencil. Yes, and not in fancy quilled ink and whatever. No,
In
it will
blood.
change. Natalie did it in blood on her calendar.
I
I don't
did.
know what's happening over there.
I have a
It's
ball.
going to happen. It's very exciting, very real, and I have minor panic attacks every once in a blue moon. I'm like, I have to find well, I don't have to find, but I really wanna find more money for us. Like,
Yeah.
it's a really big concern of mine. Just mostly, I just wanna make sure I have enough money to feed everybody. Like, that's always my biggest
Yeah,
concern.
I mean, like we talked with budgeting earlier, like we are
Mhm.
at the bottom tier budget of we can make this movie. And
Yeah,
so that's why we're still looking for, because
yeah,
this is the bare bones, Tara doesn't get anybody looking at her face budget.
yeah. No one's looking
Um,
at my face.
that this is Natalie doing the
Yeah, yeah.
Natalie doing the
Now my face,
costuming and the set
right my
deck.
face.
And
Excellent, good. Mascara so much? No, we're great, let's go.
yeah, and so that's why, like with all budgets, there's the bare bones that you can do it. And then there
Mhm.
is the, okay, this is how we could do it right. And then this is all the bells and whistles, and we actually get a possum wrangler instead of having a
Oh my
CGI
god.
opossum in there.
That's the other reason why I want money, possum wrangler.
The possum wrangler. So
Your
that's why,
donation can make the difference between a possum wrangler or not.
yeah, that's why, I mean, they're yes, we have money to do it,
Mhm.
to make it at its cheapest. And so that's why we are still
Yeah.
actively looking for funds, is because that's one version of the film.
Mhm.
It can be better, and
Done.
that's
Yes.
why we are still looking.
Yeah.
Just to
Yeah, we
clarify
can
what's going on there.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, we're still looking, but yeah, we got it. It's gonna happen now, which is really, really exciting. We're
Mhm.
just trying to give us well, the one thing is we need more time for the weather because the grass needs to be dead for the world that we're creating. We have a bunch of other, like, things that need to be figured out, and we need those 90 how
4.
many days? 94 days to figure out all those things. So, anyways, and in the meantime, we ask ourselves, well, now what?
Yep.
Now what are we doing? We got a holiday season coming up. We're moving from development into pre-pro right now and just in time for everyone to leave for Thanksgiving and Christmas. And we took a look at, like I said earlier, Natalie and I are not great at sitting and waiting for things. We want to be actively doing stuff. And I don't think that's a wrong way to be. You should always be like, okay, what can I be doing now that will help later on with there are things. And we've come up with some stuff, and there are things that are going to happen in this development in this pre-production process. So we made ourselves a list because lists are what we're
Mhm.
good at. So things, and these are episodes that you have to look forward to that are coming up. We got a crew up. We now have to
Mhm.
go and find a crew in Alabama, which is going to be a new experience, hiring in a different state, people that we aren't that aren't being directly recommended to us by people in LA or people that we know or pulling from our usual resources. We got to figure out this whole entire clearance thing. We mentioned a number of, like, board games. There's a song. There's all these things in the script that we need to take a look at. There's paperwork. We got locations to worry about. Like, we just got sent new location ideas
Which I
yesterday.
loved them.
I know, I did too.
I
I need to
loved them.
respond to that email.
Yeah.
And big one for me, like, is the finding and figuring out what our editing process is going to be. Like, I
Mhm.
really am, like, I've had the experience in the last couple of years of, and you've been there for this too, of having an editor on set taking
Mhm.
in things. I love that. I don't think it's going to be possible, but I love that. But it
Right.
does early on for me at this point. I'm looking at, like, who's going to be editing, who's taking, is it going to be Mike, are we going to hire an editor, can we bring an editor now to start flagging issues for us that we
Well,
might want to
we're at the
remember.
state, the level of budget where Mike's doing it.
Okay, that's where we're at right now. Mike doesn't get an editor.
We're not hiring an editor, I don't think, at this level of
Mike, put
budget.
your editor hat on and tell me, what flags do we have in our script that we need to be mindful of?
Right, right.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's where we're at. And actually, next week we're gonna have a whole episode dedicated to, nope, not the next week. I'm gonna cover this in 2 minutes because there's more to this. There's more to this. So those are the things that you can look forward to now that we are coming out of development. We're heading into pre-production. These are the episodes you have to look forward to, and we're working on next year's podcast episode topics and interviews already. And we've got some good stuff already lined up. We're pretty excited about the next phase of the podcast and the next phase of making a movie.
Mhm.
All right. I think that's all the meat we can pick off of this bone for today. And I want to talk about the Abby Singer shot.
Yep, yep,
Yeah.
yep. Your Abby Singer term of the day. This is where I have gone out to the internet and I have found you a term or film lingo that either you need to know or it's just kind of fun to know. We've been doing this once an episode since the first one, which was
Mhm.
Abby Singer. You can go back and find out what the Abby Singer shot is for yourself if you want to. Okay, today's term of the day is honey wagon. Now, I've heard honey wagon before. I know what it is now, but it was a long time before I had any idea what the honey wagon was on set. The honey wagon refers to the trailer that contains the restrooms. Now, this is not this is not a porta potty. This is not a porta potty. These are very fancy, and they can be many levels of fancy. They can be air conditioned. They can have changing rooms. They can have showers. They can have other offices in there as well. Anyway, but and they can, I got a lot of information here on this little
You
note
sure
card.
did.
I do. Hold on. I want to tell you that they can cost anywhere from 950 to 2,800 a day, depending on what kind of luxury honey wagon you're getting. Which,
Whoa.
if you're on a small set, a porta pot will do. They run about 150 a day. Okay, so depending on where you are, I think out here porta pots are much cheaper. Now, do you want to know, Tara, where the term honey wagon comes from?
That's what I really
I
wanna know.
know you do. That's
You
the
know I
more
do.
fun.
That's
Yeah.
my favorite part.
So, now honey wagons have a vacuum truck that collects sewage. Like that's
Mhm.
like how they pull it out of the thing. It's not just a porta pot with a hole in the bottom. No, it's pulling it out of there. Anyway,
Okay.
but originally they were horse-drawn carts that collected waste down the street. So it was a cart that came down the street. They were called the honey wagon. Now, why are they called the honey wagon? It's really gross because that's the color of the liquid inside it.
Oh, no. That's terrible.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
That's
So,
great. Cool.
now you know, a
Yeah.
honey wagon.
Oh, that's
Gross.
grand.
Now it's gross, and
Gross.
now you never wanna
Now
call it that again.
yeah, it just took something that I was really excited to have on one of our sets. I was, like, so excited to get our first
Yeah.
honey wagon on a set, and now I'm skeeved out. Thanks.
Not at this budget, we don't get honey wagons.
No, we do not. We do not. The honey wagon is a room that is called the restroom.
Yeah, mhm. It'll be
Mhm. Yeah.
practical.
Yeah. Amazing. So ridiculous. As a reminder to all of you out there, if you wanna help us make this movie, if you wanna put your dollars into the pot, no amount is too small. We have several methods for doing that. If you are watching us live on, YouTube, we have the super chat system. Super chat us your funds. I have one today. Let me scroll up and get him. Thank you to David Faith for your super chat. Fix it and post merch. Not
Mhm.
a bad merch idea. That's pretty funny.
I
There's
bet
not
it's already exists,
I'm
I'm
sure
sure.
it does.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, I'll fix it's like the black hat. And I was like, how is there no black
Mhm.
hat making fun of the director black hat
Yeah.
that says all the other jobs? Like I
Mhm.
really think there should be like PA black hat, like
Mhm.
all the positions you can have. Thank you, David Faith.
I think
You
we go
want
the opposite, and it's we cannot fix it in post. Like, that's the shirt.
we
No,
can
we cannot fix it
fix
in
it in post.
post.
It's lots of periods. We cannot fix it in post. That is the shirt. So thank you so much, David Faith. That super chat option is always up there for you. Also, we have a PayPal. We love getting our PayPal emails. Like it's always very exciting. We pass them back and forth. We text really quickly. Do you see we got a PayPal? It's really fun.
Mhm.
No, again, no amount's too small. Every bit of this is going into account, and it builds up fast. Fives become tens, become twenties, become hundreds so quick,
Mhm,
so
mhm.
quick. You know that because when you're spending $5 at Target, fives become tens, become twenties really fast as well. Next week, we are going to be taking the week off. We're going to take a little breather. And then we're going to be back the following week. So the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, we are not going to abandon you. We will be here. And we're going to have an episode that's all about waiting. What do you do while you're waiting? It felt so appropriate
Mhm.
to have an episode dedicated to this right before the holiday hits. And now I'm getting fed some TikTok videos from other filmmakers about the hurry up and wait nature of this
Mhm.
industry, even when it comes to development. And I was like, yes, what do you do while you're waiting? So if you are a filmmaker who's in the process of waiting for whatever reason, you're waiting for your star to read the script and say yes, you're waiting for, the money to roll in. We're gonna focus some time on what to do for ourselves. And hopefully that'll give you some ideas for what for you to do as well.
We're calling it the idle hands episode behind the scenes, just so you know.
Just see. Yes, what? I'm not gonna take up knitting, I'm gonna work on this movie.
Mhm.
If you are watching this podcast live on YouTube, it is a podcast that comes out. If you ever miss it, it goes out on all the places you can find a podcast. You still have plenty of chances to go and listen. So if you're listening to it, you listen to your podcast on Apple, check us out there and subscribe to us there. It means a lot. We're trying to work on our podcast numbers, and that really, really helps. If you are a podcaster and you want to be a part of the conversation, we do have a chat running during the live stream of these episodes, and we do look at those and we pull questions without you guys knowing that that's what we're doing. We're very artful. So you can influence what we're talking about anytime you watch it live. So if you want to be a part of the filmmaking conversation, join us there every Wednesday morning, not every, but most Wednesdays, 95% of Wednesdays at 9 a.m. Pacific time. Nope, 10 a.m. I am struggling with time zones lately. Have you noticed this?
It's because we had a time change. We'll blame that.
Let's say
It
that's
feels
it.
like 9
It
AM.
makes any sense, but I'm gonna go with that. I am struggling. All right, guys, we're gonna close it out here. Thank you so much for joining us, and don't forget to stay safe and go make some movies, guys. Doom, doom, doom. Another one in the books. Doom, doom,
Oh,
doom.
man.
Ready for the critic cookie? Now that I can, I'm gonna turn my backup coffee on. I
Uh-huh.
have a coffee mug that's a heated coffee mug, and I wanted to turn it on during the podcast, and I couldn't. I was like, "Dang it, I can't pull my phone and be like, yeah, yeah,
Boop, boop,
yeah,
boop.
meow, meow,
Yeah.
meow, turn on. Let me just turn on my coffee while we're doing this podcast right now.
Mm.
Welcome to the Credit Cookie, guys. This is the time that we sit here and we get real. This is when two people get together in a podcast Zoom
Stop
and
being
things stop
podcaster and
being
start being real.
real.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't make sounds.
Mm.
Yeah. Speaking of coffee and mugs, I did notice you.
Isn't
Uh-huh.
it beautiful?
Oh,
I mean, I can never show you
I need
well,
to
like,
post a picture of
it's a
that to Instagram so I can
colonial
see.
it's a
Oh
there's
no.
a conquistador, I think, on a horse right here.
What? Where'd you find that?
At the thrift store.
I love it.
I know, it's gonna
Oh
be
my
a
God.
candle. It's gonna be a candle. I'm making candles again
Yeah. Oh
under
yeah.
duress,
I wanna buy that candle from you just 'cause I wanna see a
under
picture,
duress.
'cause I absolutely will buy that off you. That is amazing. Under duress. Yeah,
Mhm.
you got bullied into making
I
candles.
well, okay. No, I didn't get bullied. No,
I
they're
bully
they're
you.
they're gonna do an event at my work, and, they're doing a sip and shop, and they're like, "Do you wanna come be a vendor?" And I was like, "Well, I wasn't actually making any candles." Um, but I was like, "Yeah, sure, okay, I'll go do
Mm.
it." And I was like, "It's Christmas," and then I was like, "Well, okay, if I'm gonna be doing the Christmas one and this is on, like, the 13th or something like that, well, then I might as well do the one on the 29th."
Yep.
So, that's the big one in town is the big Christmas market, and so I'm like, "Okay, well, if I can." I was just gonna skip because it was like, "Oh, it's only gonna be, like, one day, because then it'll be too cold to be outside, and blah, 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 blah."
Right. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, also though, hey, completely out of the
Yeah.
blue, so, my problem last year was that my candles were cracking in the cold, right? I was
Yeah,
like, "I
yeah.
can't." It's too hot in the summer, they, like, sweat, and then or they'll melty a little bit, and then they get weird on top,
Right.
and then in the winter, they were cracking, and I knew it was because they were moving from temperatures too quickly,
Yeah.
but I didn't know that if I could fix it. So I took one of my candles and I set it outside yesterday during the day, like in
Oh,
the shade, like,
uh-huh.
and then let it sit overnight where it was getting down to 42 and it never
Oh,
cracked. And so what I'm gonna have to do
make
is
this
that
gradual.
so I will take it out during the warmest part of the day and put it in the garage, which is
Uh-huh.
still gonna be a little bit too. I might, like, have to sit it in front of the open window for a little bit or something
Right.
too.
Yeah.
I'll take all the candles the night before, put them in the garage, and just hope for the best because it didn't crack.
Yeah.
It is it's
That's
fine.
genius. That's
This one
brilliant.
is winter mint.
Also
Mm,
adorable. Is
it's
that pine cones or Christmas?
they're like leaves. I think it might
Okay.
be poison ivy. I don't know, actually, just kidding.
It's
It looked like
poison ivy.
winter.
That's also adorable.
But I got all
Adorable.
my Christmas ones going here, this little
Oh,
snowman with the
I love it.
marshmallows. Oh, no.
So cute.
Yeah,
Um,
we're a candle factory again.
yep. Switching jobs. What are you doing while you
Mhm.
wait? Making candles.
Idle hands.
I swear. Yeah, there's so much going on in the world
Mhm.
right now. You and I both do so many different jobs that like managing all of it is it's a feat in its own. I don't know how you and I do it. Most people don't do this. Most people aren't crazy
No.
like we are and doing
Mm-mm.
like 5 million different jobs.
Yesterday was
Uh,
one of those days where all of my jobs collided. It
mhm.
was, I mean, so I had the webinar meeting for Gig Harbor in the
Right.
morning, went to Johnson Art Center for a meeting. You and I had a meeting after that to write for
Right.
future things.
Mhm.
But then we had a turns out meeting. And really in between there, I was supposed to be making candles. I'll tell you which one didn't happen.
Yeah.
But like it was like every department. I
Uh-huh.
did actually, and I even did swing into IG
No
and
way.
bought a bottle of wine.
That's work. That's work.
I didn't work while I was there,
Yeah.
but I did stop by. So
Yeah.
I touched base on every single one of my jobs yesterday,
Oh my god, that's crazy. That's
right?
madness.
That
Yeah.
doesn't happen.
Yesterday was a day I was, like, not looking forward to, not because of anything that, like, was negative, it's just that it was a full day, and I'm like,
Mhm. Mhm.
I get really cranky about full days. I don't which is ridiculous because I'm the one actively involved in every bit of that scheduling. I'm like, "Yeah, let's do that then." That is my fault. But I
Yes.
was so like, "Nah." I was like, "Ugh, I don't wanna do this day. I don't wanna do the next day." I think it just me personally, like, years of just working and working and working and working and working, and I'm just hitting that, like, that temporary wall you hit every once in a while, you're like, "When does it get easy again? Never?
Never.
Great."
Yeah. Yeah,
Never.
I get that way with immovable things on my schedule. So like
Mm,
having to go to the job,
yeah.
like that
Yes.
specifically. It's not that I don't like I still like my job.
Yeah. Same.
I don't want to do it between this hour and this hour.
Same.
The minute it has to
I
be between these hours and I'm stuck,
yeah.
that's when I get weird.
I adore my day job. I am so grateful for my day job. Like, I've been there for 11 years, so obviously I like it and need it.
Yeah.
And it's not at all that I don't want if you didn't give me as many shifts, I'd be upset because I need the money and I wanna go to
Mhm.
work. At the same time, I am like, "How do I stop having to do a day job?" Like,
Yeah.
it's not doing a day job. It's, the requirement of being somewhere
Yeah.
is really annoying right now. Like, that's really what's chewing into me, is like, I have to be there at 8 p.m. today,
Mhm.
A, to cover all the boxes because it's gonna rain tonight, but also to bartend, and, like, it's not that I'm mad at the job really, it's just, like, I have to be there. I'm like, "I don't wanna. Don't tell me what to
And
do."
my thing when I go to these jobs is I would rather like if it's slow, where if it's slow, where I can do other things, I can take out my notebook and I can make a list or whatever, totally fine. If it's just slow enough that I'm not making money, but I can't get anything else done, now I hate it. If
Yeah,
it's busy enough that I can't do anything else and I'm just making a
can't
little bit
think
of
about
money,
anything else.
that's
Yeah.
fine. If it's slammed, then I'm angry again. I am like the Goldilocks when it comes to bartending. You bet I got like there's like a little window that makes me happy while I'm doing it. Other
Uh
than that, go F yourself.
Oh, Shannon says that she gets this way about her dogs. I vacuum and 10 minutes later, someone's chewed a toys, fluff out, and all over the floor. Oh,
Mhm.
yeah. I mean, they're doing that on purpose. They're just trying to test your patience at every moment of the
Heck
day.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Gizmo is in a mood today. I don't know what her problem is, but she is not happy. I did dial back her feeding machine because she's not eating at all. I'm like, you
Mhm.
don't need all this. And so she may be just mad at me that food's not readily available all the
Mhm.
time, but she's been throwing up a lot lately. So I'm like, no, no, something's wrong. We got to fix things. She's in a
Mhm.
mood.
Yeah.
Jack Boot says, I'm about ready to retire. Retire?
What were
Tell me,
you
where
what were you
did you come out
unreti
of retirement and then you're gonna go back in?
re has anybody seen the movie Repossessed with Leslie no, does it have Leslie Nielsen in it? I don't actually remember. It's making fun of the, oh, yeah, it does. It's making fun of all the national lampoon,
Oh, I love
Naked
it.
Guns, the Naked
Yeah.
Guns, and it is, it is the character from, um, what's the possession movie, the big one? Exorcist.
Oh, yeah.
It's that actress as an adult playing herself. Well, she's not playing. I don't think she's not playing Linda Blair. She's playing
Okay.
the character from the movie, and she
Oh,
is repossessed, and the whole thing is making fun.
that's so
It's
funny.
and I think Leslie Nielsen plays the priest,
Oh, that's so
and
funny. Yeah.
I remember it was one of my
Oh,
favorites when I was a
I remember
kid.
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think I ever saw it, but I do kind of
it
remember.
was one of my
I remember
favorites.
the photographs from it. David says, "Hey Taro, you could try working from home like the kids do these days." Okay, here's the thing. You're not wrong. But I did not build up the skill set for the last 20 years for a job that works from home. I did
Yeah.
not think about this 20 years ago when I thought, "Hey, I should get into," like, when I was working at Starbucks. I just told this story recently too. I was working at Starbucks. I was very fast on the, espresso machine, and someone's watching me work, and they're like, "You're really fast." I was like, "Thank you." And I'm just making cocktails, so spinning in circles, making drinks, and it's a fun Rubik's Cube game of, like, how can I make these drinks faster? He's like, "Have you ever considered being a bartender?" In that moment, I did not go, "Hey, that would mean in 20 years from now, I still have to go to a bar because my strongest skill set, my strongest power and ability in the workforce is that I am an incredible and very fast bartender. That is my best skill set right now. Like, I am incredible. I'm
I
so fast."
I think you should give
Do
yourself a little bit of break because there weren't work at home jobs then.
that's
So
the
you
thing.
couldn't have
Yeah.
gone I mean, you even if you were going to, like, learn to edit differently
Mhm.
or learn
Yeah.
to be a graphic designer, that was not working from home the same way. I mean, a
No.
little bit, but
But
people were
those were
still
9
going
to
in the office.
5ers, yeah,
Yeah,
and you
so
couldn't do a 9 to 5er and be an actor, so 20 years ago, this was
Mhm.
the best thing. Now in this present day and age, and at my age that I'm at presently with everything I have going on, that my strongest skill set is being an oh my god, I was bartending the other night, and it's Halloween, and we got slammed. It was wild, and the bartender I'm working with is a younger bartender. He's been doing it for, like, 4 or 5 years at this point, but younger than me, and we got done, and he's like, "You're a monster. I didn't know you were that fast." I was like, "Oh, yeah, that's club bartending, like, you just, whatever, I just don't have to do it very often here." He's like, "I don't know how you were taking that many drink orders in one go." It's like, I was taking, like, 10 drink orders at a time, like, l controlling the crowd, all the things that you do, and it was like, I remembered, like, "That's right, I am really good at this.
Mhm.
I cannot do this from home. This incredible skill set I
Yeah.
have, it's not a home job."
No.
And so now I'd have to take the time to get a new skill set and get it to the same 10,000 hours place in order to replace the money that I make now as a bartender. Do you see what I'm saying, David? You see my problem? Or I win the lottery, or I find a very rich benefactor who just thinks I'm lovely and wants me to have a lovely life. And
Mhm.
and I will listen, benefactor that I'm talking to directly right now, I will make good on that time. There will be no sitting around. I will become incredible. I just need the time.
Yeah.
Jack's Boots is I'm retired from the federal government 10 years ago. That lasted less than 2 years before I got bored, and took a part-time job. Yes, Jack Boots, you and I
And
are the
I
same
said, "And
people.
Mrs. Jackboots told me to get out of the house." I
Same.
binge watched Shrinking. We were talking about this. I absolutely loved it. Um, I was so mad there were only 2 seasons, and I was mad that all of season 2 made me cry.
Ugh,
Uh,
it's
like
so good.
it's so, so good, but there's a character in there. She was a stay-at-home mom all of her adult life, and then her
Mhm.
husband's retiring, and she's like, "No, no, you need to find a hobby and
Get
get out of my
out
house."
a house.
Like,
I've
she's like,
had
"I
this
love
house
you." Yeah, she's like, "I love you,
I
but
love that part.
I don't like being around you that much."
I love you, but I don't like being around you. Now get out of my house. I
I
have a
recommend
pattern and
that
a way.
show. If you guys have a chance,
Oh,
Shrinking is
yeah,
actually very good.
very good.
And it's so Tara as I was watching it, I was
Mhm.
just so happy because it's Tara and I's style of writing. So I knew the jokes before they landed, but not in a bad
Not in a
way.
bad
Like,
way.
I
Yeah.
was fulfilled every time the joke went the way it was
Yeah.
supposed to go. Where
Same.
so often I watch a show that doesn't get the joke quite right, and I'm
Yeah.
mad at it. I'm unfulfilled because there's a
Yeah.
better joke and you missed it, or I get it too soon because it's just pedestrian and, like,
It's just not,
it's
yeah,
just
it's not
yeah.
challenging in any way, shape.
Mhm.
I watched 2 over the last couple days. I watched Death by Lightning, which I
Mhm.
highly recommend. It's about the, assassination of Garfield by, oh god, I can't remember his name. Goth, or whatever. It's so well done. It's the same guys who did Game of Thrones, so I was a little trepidatious heading into it, but they did such a good job telling this really fun story. The look of it, the color
Mhm.
tone, the shot. Oh god, it's so, so fun. I highly recommend it, especially to our history lovers out there.
Mhm.
You will enjoy it. And I was really into the politics that they were the political infighting and stuff that was going on in the Republican Party at that point. Like, it was so fascinating. Like, it was
Mm.
really, really, really fun. And then also I watched, Frankenstein, which I
Oh,
really
yeah.
enjoyed. Yeah, I really, really liked it. I was like after Nosferatu, which I know is not the same team or whatever, but I was
Yeah,
like,
but
I really did not like Nosferatu at
I
all.
haven't seen either, so
Ugh. Yeah, skip Nosferatu. Frankenstein was wonderful. It was beautifully done. I really
Mhm.
liked, uh, Guillermo, his, like, take on the characters. Like, I did not like Victor Frankenstein as a person at
Mhm.
all, and that was the point. Like, and that made his arc so much more interesting. It was a little quick at the end, but
Mhm.
still we got there, whatever. I wish we would have seen more, and that's probably the book. I've never read Frankenstein, the book.
Mm.
But it was so fun, and it's beautiful. It's
Yeah.
so well shot, the sets are beautiful, it's the color usage is very direct and pointed, and, like, it's very, it reminds me of, Tim Burton's Sleepy Hollow days as far as, like, the choices and stuff, the color choices and whatnot. It's great. Highly
Mhm.
recommend. Highly recommend.
That's what I watched, the show that I wasn't naming earlier, which I will name now because 'cause we're in the credit cookie section, it's totally different.
Totally different.
Totally different, was, The Studio. We watched all of season 1 of The Studio the other day, and I just the entire time, I'm like, "Why is this camera moving so much?" Like, I get what you think you're doing, but I just don't think you're making you're
Achievement.
I don't think you're
Yeah.
making the choices, like, in and you're doing it because you think it's kinda cool. This is a style. This is different. This is whatever,
Yeah.
but does it service the story that you're
Mhm.
yelling right now?
Right.
No. I mean, I don't think acting choices were serving the story. I don't think there was a lot of that. And it also but so I watched that. We watched all of 1 season of it, and then we started watching Severance. And those are such night and day, like, I mean,
Yeah.
literal. It is one is just shaky cam for the sake of being shaky, and the other one is so polished and slow and
Mhm.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh god, it's gorgeous.
but I also like I'm watching this with those same kind of things in mind of like,
Mhm.
oh, I feel like I want it to be I'm looking for intent where there isn't intent. I feel
Okay.
like I
Yeah.
want I heard so much about how smart the show was in those regards, like the way they
Mhm.
built the world and all that stuff. But I'm like,
Yeah.
I almost want more like there. So it's very structured. Everything's symmetrical
Right.
in a lot of things. I was noticing really early on that even though everything was symmetrical, the humans in it were not symmetrical. They still
Mhm.
balanced, but they were not symmetrical in frame. It didn't have like
Right.
the extras were not. So the
Okay.
world itself is very structured. But I would have been more happy if they had done a little bit more upstairs, downstairs with that. And it started
Oh,
to
okay.
slowly get away, but everything above ground is structured as well as I'm like I th-
Mm,
and I then I wanted the below ground to be the first shots of above ground, when they come back from being, in the basement
right.
are very dark because it's
Mhm.
afternoon, evening, and I was like, "Oh, this will be
Right.
really cool if if below
If it
ground is actually more saturated than
right,
above,
yeah.
like, if these 2 worlds are separated by that." But then they didn't do that, and I was like, "Oh,
That's a
okay."
bummer.
And
Yeah.
and and I do think that maybe it might be deteriorating, like,
Mhm.
it's slowly
Okay.
getting less and less structured.
Intentionally? Yeah.
Yes, and I
As the
should
world starts to smash together, you know?
mhm,
Okay.
but I don't know if it is or
If
if
you're reading it that in
I'm
there. Yeah.
hoping it yeah, like, I don't know.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I do think I think it's good. I think
Mhm.
it's very,
Yeah, I
I think it's
remember really
very good,
pilot. That's as far as I
but
got,
yeah.
and then I got busy. And I do remember the below ground having that horrible fluorescent lighting,
Yes.
coloring that I emotionally cannot stand, like, there's I have those hue light bulbs in my home, and there's a
Mhm.
couple of colors in there that are very much that. I'm like, "Absolutely not. No, no, no."
I don't feel like it really does, though.
Oh,
I think,
really?
it's very bright and well lit, but the walls
Mhm.
are like daylight balance white
Okay.
almost.
Huh.
It's very white.
Okay.
And I think those first scenes do. I think they tried to like, but I don't think it carries over. And again, that might be choices that I'm just not reading right, like,
Maybe.
or
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah.
looking for, I don't know.
Yeah,
And the
I
thing is,
do remember the dinner scene or something in the first
mhm.
episode being, like, warm tones, more like
And
oranges and
that's where,
warms and
yeah, there's
stuff.
like the tablecloth on
Yeah.
it is this bright red, which
Yeah, that's all I
I
really
don't think
remember.
there is any red. The other thing was wardrobe. Like I
Mm,
started like okay. So in this, so they almost all stay in the exact same costumes
mhm.
except for the girl. And
Okay.
her costume is changed. Now she's a disruptor, so that makes a little bit of sense, but I don't think they're using it enough. Like, and then she had an orange top on
Uh-huh.
later on in the episode. Like it's all blues and greens and everything. Then she has an orange top on, and he has an orangish tie as
Okay.
well as like, and I'm like, if we start to introduce color in here to show the disruption happening,
Yeah.
I'm in. But if this is just half-assing it. Like I want if you're gonna do this, there's got to be
Do it.
rules, and I want every tie to service the
What are the
story. I
rules to
want
your
every
world?
yeah,
Yeah.
and so uh, maybe I'm not giving it the credit. Maybe
I don't
I'm
know.
slower to notice the things. Maybe they are doing it, and it's so subtle that it's phenomenal. And by season 4, everyone's in pastels, and I will eat my
I know, eat
words.
your
But
lunch. Oh,
yeah,
hat or shoe, something gets it. I don't
words,
know.
but
Words, whatever.
anyway, so I
Whatever.
don't know, I highly recommend Shrinkage, don't necessarily recommend The Studio,
Yeah.
and Severance,
Yeah.
I
Cool. All right, guys, we gotta sit down. Like we said in the episode, we will not be here next week. We're gonna skip a week, and we'll be back the following week for Thanksgiving. So sorry, we'll miss you guys in the credit cookie, but we'll be back. We're not going anywhere for very long. We promise.
Mhm.
We'll never leave you. Not truly. Not here. All right, guys. We'll see you next time. Have a good
Bye.
day.
Ciao.
Bye.